Hi, today we'll talk about the three sets problems, and today we are going to solve a likely exam question. The problem is, in a group of 120 customers, 72 of them banked with First Bank, 65 banked with Trust Bank, and 53 banked with Access Bank. If 35 of the customers banked with both First and Trust Bank, 30 banked with both First and Access Bank, and 21 banked with both Trust and Access Bank, and each of these customers banked at least with one of the three banks, the first question is to draw a Venn diagram to illustrate this information. And the second part of the question is, how many customers banked in I? All the banks. I. Exactly two of the three banks. I. Exactly one of the three banks. And the fourth question is in First Bank alone. This is the problem we are faced with. Now, the first thing to do here is to bring out our parameters, that is, the given information from the question. So we have that the universal set here, the solution to the problem, the universal set is 120. That is the set of all the customers in this particular problem. Let us denote F as the number of customers, as the customers that banked with First Bank, T as the customers that banked with Trust Bank, and A as the customers that banked with Access Bank. So from the question, we have that 72 of the customers banked with First Bank. So the number of customers that banked with First Bank is equal to 72. We're also told that 65 banked with Trust Bank. So N of T is equal to 65. From the question, we have that 53 banked with Access Bank. Therefore, N of A is equal to 53. Other informations are that 35 of the customers banked in both First and Trust Bank. And again, you know that when we talk about customers that banked with both First and Trust Bank, what we're just trying to say is F intersection T. That is the number of F intersection T is equal to 35. We also have that 30 banked in both First and Access Bank. So number of First intersection Access is equal to 30. And of course, we're told that 21 banked in both Trust and Access Bank. Trust intersection Access is 21. Now, seeing that all the customers banked at least with one of the three banks, we have to draw a Venn diagram to illustrate this information. And how do we do that? Remember that I said Venn diagrams are represented with rectangular blocks. So we have something like this. So this is the rectangular block, and this rectangular block signifies or symbolizes the universal set. And the universal set in this case is 120. Okay? So let us draw the circles that represent each of the three banks. Of course, there is an intersection between all the banks. Therefore, we can use this as the first circle, this as the second circle, and this as the third circle. The first circle should, let's make the first circle a First Bank. And the second one is the Trust Bank. And the third one is the Access Bank. And from the question, we're told that for First Bank, we have 72 of the customers banked with First Bank. And for the Trust Bank, we have 65 banked with Trust Bank. And for the Access Bank, we have that 53 banked with Access Bank. So, to continue with this, where is the point of intersection between the three banks? Of course, this is the point of intersection. Let us represent this as X. And the combination or the intersection between First and Trust Bank should have taken this whole space. Let me show you this space. Should have taken this whole space. But because this space belongs to X, therefore, for First and Trust Bank would have 35 minus X. So this place alone, this segment alone belongs to First and Trust Bank alone. Okay, the same thing will be done to Trust and Access Bank. We said Trust and Access Bank, we have 21 customers there. So this will now give us 21 minus X, due to the same reason as we've seen in First and Trust Bank. So for First and Access Bank, this will be 30 minus X. With these, we've succeeded in representing this information using the Venn diagram. The next question is, how many customers banked in all the banks? That is, we should look for the value of X. And how do we do that? The first thing to do is to state the equation or the formula that connects all these parameters together. And the formula is the union of the sets U. Remember, union is the universal set. And remember, universal set is also the same thing as the union of First, union Trust, union Access Bank. Is that okay? So, which is equal to the addition of each of the banks. We have the number of First plus the number of Trust plus the number of Access. Then minus the intersection of any of these two banks. Minus N of F intersection T minus N of F intersection A minus N of T intersection A, then plus the intersection of the three banks. So we have intersection number of F intersection T intersection A. And since this is done, we have to substitute the values into the equation. And how do we do that? We have that the universal set is 120. So we have 120 equal to 72 plus 65 plus 53 minus 35 minus 30 minus 21 plus X, where X is the intersection between the three sets. Alright, so this gives me, if you add everything together, would have 120 equals 104 plus X. Then if you subtract 104 from both sides to make X stand alone, we have 120 minus 104 equals 104 plus X minus 104. And of course, 104 will cancel out 104, and we're left with x is equal to 16. Therefore, 16 customers banked with the 3 banks. Okay, let's go to the second question. We're asked to find the number of customers that banked with exactly 2 of the 3 banks. Exactly 2 of the 3 banks. And you agree with me that the area covered by this particular question are 1, 2, and 3. Why? Because these areas actually shows the customers that banked with exactly 2 of the banks. I'm sure you can see what I am doing. So that is the area we are looking for. And after getting them, we now add them together to get the final answer. So by doing this, we have that so the second question, the second part of the question, II, it said exactly 2 of the 3 banks. Exactly 2 of the 3 banks. And how do we go about that? Of course, the first one is 35 minus x, which stands for First and Trust Bank alone. Is that okay? So, First and Trust Bank alone. Let me put it this way so that you'll see it very well. Is that okay? So, how do we do it? Since we already have our x to be 16, then we can say we have 35 minus 16. And of course, 35 minus 16 equal to 19 customers. Now, having said that, let us also look for the customers that banked with Trust Bank and Access Bank. So we have T and Access alone, which will give us 21 minus x. And of course, we know our x to be 16. If we substitute the value of x into this, we have 21 minus 16. And of course, this will give us 5 customers. This is becoming clearer. Then, I'm sure you should be able to solve for the last one, which is First and Access Bank. First and Access Bank. So the third one is First and Access Bank alone will give us 30 minus 16, because our x now is 16. Is that okay? So 30 minus x, which is 30 minus 16. And this will give us 14 customers. Now, since this has been said, we're now asked to find the number of customers that banked with exactly 2 of the 3 banks. So the next thing is to add the 3 together. We now have to add, this will give us 19 plus 5 plus 14. Of course, 19 plus 5 plus 14 customers will give us 38 customers in all. Therefore, 38 customers out of 120 customers banked with exactly 2 of the 3 banks. This is very simple, right? Let's go to the third question. The third question says that we should look for the number of students that banked with exactly one of the 3 banks. Exactly one of the 3 banks. And how do we do that? The way forward is to go back to our Venn diagram so that I will explain it better. Now, exactly one of the 3 banks actually shows this area. This is First Bank alone. This is Trust Bank alone. And this is Access Bank alone. So these are the areas we are asked to find. Now, since that has been said, let us go over to solving them. So this is the 3rd question. We have I. Let us start with First Bank alone. First Bank alone. Now you realize that the First Bank has this circle. First Bank has this circle in which we have sections like these, we have these, we have these also. And this place is the First Bank alone. And everything in this circle is actually 72. So this part is 30 minus x. This one is x, while this is equal to 35. This is equal to 35. Let me write it clearer. This is equal to 35 minus x. Therefore, how do we get f alone? Of course, since everything here is 72, therefore we have 72 will be equal to 35 minus x plus 30 minus x, then plus f alone. And if you do the arithmetic, you realize that these will cancel out one of these. So we are left with f alone is equal to 72 minus 35 plus 16, then minus 30. This gives us 23 customers. Therefore, 23 customers banked with First Bank alone. Alright, since we have said that, let us go over to the number of customers that banked with Trust Bank alone. Still from the Venn diagram, for Trust Bank alone, we have this circle for Trust Bank. Okay, so we also know that this area is covered, this area is also covered, and this area is covered. This area over here is 35 minus x, this area over here is x, while this one is 21 minus x. And this is what we are actually looking for, T alone. Everything in Trust Bank gave us 65. So we have 65 as Trust Bank. Okay, now how do we get for Trust Bank alone? It is simply 65 equal to 35 minus x plus 21 minus x plus t alone. So we're going to have that t alone will be equal to 65 minus 35. Of course, these two will cancel out. So we are left with minus 21 plus 16. Therefore, if you add everything together, you realize that for Trust Bank alone, we have 25 customers. We have 25 customers. Now the third one is to find for Access Bank alone. So for Access Bank alone, we have this circle. Right. Access alone. Okay. Now for Access Bank, we have this segment. We have this and we have this. So this is 21 minus x. This is x, while this is 30 minus x. This is what we are looking for, access alone. And of course, the access bank is 53. So T access is equal to 53. Now, if you do this, you realize that access bank alone will be 53 equals 30 minus x plus 21 minus x plus access alone. Of course, this will cancel out and we are left with access alone will be equal to 53 minus 30 minus 21 plus 16. And if you do the arithmetic, you realize that Access Bank alone will give us 18 customers. 18 customers. So, therefore, the number of customers that banked with exactly one of the three banks will give me nothing but the addition of Access Bank alone and First Bank alone and Trust Bank alone. Therefore, we have exactly one bank. We have 18 plus 23 plus 25, which will give me 66 customers. Now the fourth one says we should find First Bank alone, and of course we've been able to find the number of customers that banked with First Bank alone, which is equal to what we have over here. Therefore, to complete these, we have that the fourth one, which is First Bank alone, will give us 23 customers. With this, we have come to the end of the class, and I'm sure you can now tackle any problem when it comes to three sets. If you still have questions for me arising from this lesson, you can drop them in the comment section. See you in our next class where we'll discuss other problems on three set problems.